Hello, welcome to Alyssa Jean's Reviews. This is my live stream initial thoughts, initial reaction, spoiler free for Spider-Man No Way Home. So I just got back from the theaters a little while ago. Still kind of processing. I didn't jump on right away because I got to process a little bit. But I'm pretty fresh from seeing it in the theaters. Spider-Man No Way Home. And as I said, this will be spoiler free. I will be doing my spoilery full review tomorrow. That'll be Saturday the 18th. I will have that out for you for those who have seen it. For those who have not, let me give you my initial thoughts and my reaction to this. So, I have mentioned in previous videos that the hype machine was on full. It was just a full blown capacity for this. The hype machine was real for this film, to the point where I said if this was less than a 10, and if it was anything less than the best movie of the year, then it's a disappointment because that's where the hype machine had me, feeling about this movie. Well, this better be pretty fucking damn good. And I wasn't joking when I said if this movie's not a 10, it's a disappointment. So then a couple days ago, I watched an initial reaction video on a channel that I often watch called Cosmic Wonder, and the guy who does that channel primarily is named Warren, and he went to the red carpet event and he did an initial reaction, spoiler free review, and he said not only the greatest superhero film of all time, but the greatest movie period of all time. Now that is some high expectations. That is a high bar. Greatest movie of all time. And then the next day, I watched another one of those type videos from another channel that I watch, Everything Always, and the dude on that channel didn't go as far as to say it's greatest movie of all time, but he did say best superhero film of all time. So that's where the bar is. Now, first of all, I'm never going to say any movie is the greatest movie of all time as soon as I walk out of the theater having just seen it. Doesn't matter what the movie is. I cannot declare anything the greatest movie of all time. Not until I process it, not until I've watched it probably at least 3 times. So that's just me. So I'm not going to do that. So what did I think of this film? So first of all, yeah, greatest movie of all time, off the table. That's not even something I would consider. Now, greatest superhero film of all time. I can't put it above Endgame. I don't know. I'm still processing, particularly that ending. I'm still really processing the ending. But I don't see myself ranking this above Endgame. Endgame was just such a huge, large-scale film with just so much going on that, and so much going right that I just don't see myself putting this above Endgame. How about the greatest superhero movie that focuses on just one hero? And yes, I know Doctor Strange was in this, and all these other MCU films, like Black Widow is and Captain America: Winter Soldier, etc., etc. They always have these secondary superheroes, and then Civil War, of course, had a whole bunch of them. But I am talking about movies that primarily focus on one hero, and there's one hero in the title. Of those sorts of films, including MCU and non-MCU, yeah, I would say it's the best of those. I would say so. I don't know what would be better, to be perfectly honest. Um, I think the aforementioned Captain America: Winter Soldier would be up there. Personally, I would say Spider-Man: Far From Home would be up there. Um, Maybe if we get into DC stuff, maybe the original Batman with Michael Keaton, maybe Batman, or the first Christopher Nolan Batman film. But I don't think so. I think that as far as those single superhero films, I think this is probably the best. I really do. Now, if you want to talk about best Spider-Man film, easily, easily the best Spider-Man film, easily. Uh, so to sum up, does it live up to the hype? Yeah, pretty much. It pretty much does. I mean, you can't get into the greatest movie of all time stuff. That's ridiculous. But other than that, does it live up to the hype? I say yes. I would say yes. Um, so let me kind of talk about why I really love this film. So there's two main reasons. Actually, no, there's four reasons. Because the first three reasons are Tom Holland, and Tom fucking Holland. Tom Holland is phenomenal. Phenomenal. I loved him in Far From Home. I loved the character's arc for Peter Parker. It was a true hero's journey where the hero doesn't have confidence in himself, and that's his downfall. That causes all the problems. And the hero learns to gain confidence in himself. The hero learns to be his own person and not live in the shadow of his hero. In this case, was Iron Man. Great film, great character journey for Peter Parker and Tom Holland. And Far From Home, this movie, next level, takes that up to the next step, cranking it up to 11. This is an even better character story for Peter Parker, and Tom Holland knocks it out of the park. Just absolutely phenomenal. I'm just going to say this. I'm going to declare this unequivocally. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Forget any other Spider-Man. Yes, there are other ones, but Tom Holland is the only true Spider-Man. I'm declaring that. Just like Christopher Reeves is Superman, Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. I feel sorry for the poor schlum who's going to be forced to try to fill those shoes. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine. And in my opinion, this one's a little more debatable, but in my opinion, Michael Keaton is Batman. And he tells you in the movie, he says, I'm Batman. So, I mean, what else do you need? He's Batman. I know that one's a little bit more up for debate, but Tom Holland, the fact that Tom Holland is Spider-Man, no debate. No debate. I mean, you can try to debate, but you're wrong. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Watch this movie and tell me anybody other than Tom Holland is Spider-Man, and you're wrong. Tom Holland has sealed the deal. He is fucking Spider-Man. He is absolutely phenomenal. As much as I loved him in Far From Home, next level stuff here. Next level stuff. I mean, bravo. Bravo. So, the other big reason why I'm really drawn to this film is that it was so emotional, like much more so than I was expecting. I would say that there were tears going down my eyes 3 different times, at least 3 different points in the film. There were tears flowing down my eyes. So emotional in the most positive of ways. And great humor in this film, too. It's the cliche, I laughed and I cried. Well, yeah, it's kind of true of this film. I laughed and I cried. It was had great humor, great levity throughout the film, but also just so emotional, so emotional. I was not expecting it to be that emotional, like tears going down my eyes. Was not expecting that aspect of this film. That's what really draws me in this film. You notice how I haven't mentioned the multiverse stuff too, and that's what I was really looking forward to in this film. That was great. I love that. Really enjoyed that aspect of the film. The multiverse stuff was great, but if I were to name the top 2 aspects of this film that really make this a great film for me, is Tom Holland and how emotional this film was. and that's tied together because Tom Holland made it emotional. And then getting into some of the other standout performances, lots of standout performances in this film. Um, of course, Zendaya. So let me tell you a little secret. I have maybe a little bit of a crush on Zendaya. I freaking love Zendaya. I'll watch anything Zendaya is in. Euphoria is an incredible show because she's in it. I think if anyone other than her were the lead character in Euphoria, I don't know if it would be as good. She's amazing. She's fucking amazing. I watched Dune just because she's in it, and then it turns out she's barely in that movie. I still liked Dune, even though she's barely in it, but I was disappointed that she's barely in it. And she should be in Dune Part 2 a lot more. The way that Dune Part 1 ends, it seems to be setting up for her to be have a much larger role in the second film. So I was a little disappointed, but I still ended up liking Dune. It was pretty good, but I only watched it because Zendaya is in it. Zendaya is phenomenal. And this is her best film, at least Spider-Man films to date. And then I want to give a shout out to someone that I don't know other people are giving credit to, but I'm going to give a big round of applause for Marissa Tomei. Marissa Tomei, best performance in a Spider-Man film by far. And I mean, this was the most prominent role that she has played in the Spider-Man film to this point. I would say Aunt May in the first two MCU Spider-Man films, more of a background character, more of a side character. She's much more of a phenomenal, or much more of a front and center role, and she's phenomenal. She's absolutely phenomenal. She steps up to the plate. Love me some Marissa Tomei. And I also got to mention, and this shouldn't be a spoiler if you have seen all the trailers. If you've seen the trailers, you know that Willem Dafoe reprises his role as Green Goblin in this movie. Also phenomenal. I love Willem Dafoe so much. He was great in this movie. Great performances all around. But Tom Holland is what makes this movie. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. That's all I can say about that. Absolutely phenomenal. Now, I love the multiverse stuff. I can't really talk about it in this spoiler-free review because, I can't give anything away. But I loved that. I kind of want to just touch on the ending. I can't really talk about it too much. I am still processing it as insofar as what the implications are for the future of the MCU, because honestly, I'm not sure, and I am worried that it has implications that I don't like. So that would be the biggest negative for this film for me, is the potential implications for the MCU that I may not like. I have to process it more, and before I do my spoiler review, I'll watch like other people's videos of ending explained and all that, and I'll get other people's take on that ending and what the possible implications are, and I'll kind of process it and I'll think about it a little bit more probably before I do my spoilery review. But I think that potentially there could be some implications that I wouldn't like. So later on, I could look back on this film and think a little less of it because of that, but I'm still processing. So I don't know about that yet. As all MCU films do, this has a couple of post-credit scenes. The first one, I can take or leave. I'll talk about that more specifically in my spoilery review. The second one, loved it. Loved the implications this has for the future of the MCU. And I'm going to put this in very vague terms. I believe this second post-credit scene did something that no other MCU post-credit scene has done, or at least not in a long time. I don't remember all those phase one ones. So maybe, actually, no, I think this did happen. This did do something that happened once before, possibly. I think it did. But anyways, it does something very unique, and I think that some people may not love it, but I did. Loved it. Love that second post-credit scene. So that's probably all I should say. In my spoiler-free review, go see it if you haven't seen it yet. Tell me what you think of it. What you think of the ending, and what you think of just the whole thing. How emotional it was. Tom Holland's performance, anyone's performance in this film, and just the whole shebang. Because I loved it. So let me say hi to Brandon Howes in the chat, who, of course, is joining me because he's Brandon Howes, always joins me. Brandon Howes says, after midnight, yep, just got back from the movie round 11, took the dog out, had some food, came on and did my late night spoiler-free review. Has Mark seen it yet? I don't know. I don't think he has tended to not go out and see these MCU films on opening night, but maybe he's making an exception for Spider-Man. I don't know. You'll have to ask him. We'll see him tomorrow night at the Expanse review. I'm gonna do an Expanse discussion. The Expanse season 6 episode 2. I'll do a discussion with him and Darren tomorrow on his channel, so I can ask him then. I'm gonna guess he hasn't, but I don't know. I don't know. Oops, my microphone is falling down. It's time for me to go. So thank you for joining me. And if you have seen the film, take a look at my spoilery review, which I will release tomorrow sometime during the day or evening. That will be posted on my channel. And then if you haven't seen the film, go see it and then go and watch my spoilery review, where I can get into more specifics of the things that I really liked of this film and my concerns of the implications of the ending. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you soon. Goodbye.